When people thought of Bill Cosby, this is who they pictured. But after yesterday, this might be the picture he ends up being remembered by.
So sad.
Yesterday, Bill Cosby was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in state prison for drugging and sexually abusing Andrea Constand. According to Page 6, Cosby burst out laughing in the courtroom after his sentence.
What?
The judge in the case rejected bail, so Cosby was handcuffed and incarcerated immediately doing a perp walk in front of the media. Part of the sentence also includes Cosby having to officially register as a sex offender. Following the sentence, Constance and fellow Cosby accuser, Janice Dickinson, were seen embracing outside the courthouse, seemingly relieved to have this ordeal behind them. However, not everyone was happy about the news. Here's what Cosby's spokesperson, Andrew Wyatt, had to say following the sentence.
This has been the most racist and sexist trial in the history of the United States. Dr. Cosby has been one of the greatest civil rights leaders in the United States for over the last 50 years. He has also been one of the greatest educators of men and boys over the last 50 years. Mr. Cosby knows that God is watching over him. He knows that these are lies. They persecuted Jesus, and look what happened.
Ooh.
So,
The comparison
ladies,
to Jesus?
what's your reaction to the sentence?
Well, first off, I want to say that this is living proof that individual voices do matter. Out of nearly 60 cases, the one from Andrea is the one that landed. So don't ever think that your one voice doesn't matter.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
60. One case. At the same time,
It's heartbreaking.
which part?
It was sad. When
The whole
saw
thing, the
him-
fact he did
Yeah.
it, if he, like, it's all just really sad. And I don't know if I'm the only one that's, like, having a hard time with how I should feel. Like, I know, okay, I obviously know that when somebody does wrong, they have to suffer the consequences. That is what it is. Wrong is wrong is wrong is wrong. What I have a hard time dealing with is how do you separate his work from what he did? You know what I mean? Like the fact that I loved the Cosby Show growing up. You know, he had this father figure on television for so many people that maybe didn't have a father in their home that was like a good family man, a good husband. And then you're like, man, do you rip that from him? Like, it's just, but then if I was one of his victims.
That was a character.
Got it, but if I was one of his victims.
You gotta separate the character from the actual person.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot
That's
of.
hard.
Go ahead, Tim.
Well, no.
Say something.
Well, what I actually agree with you, Adrian, because it feels surreal to me, and I do have to learn to separate the character from the man, because initially I'm like, that's Dr. Huxtable.
Yeah.
Dr. Huxtable is going to jail, you know? And the Cosby Show, that was huge in my life. It's the reason why I became an actress. I used to watch that show every single day, and I loved seeing these affluent African-American family.
Yeah.
And, you know, it taught us family values. And so right now, I feel like the world is kind of spinning. And yes, wrong is wrong.
Yeah, they've taken it off the air. What do you think about that? That's where it gets, feel me? It gets weird there. So, Lonnie, what do you think?
Well, there's a lot of talk in the black community about linking him being lynched, you know, that he's a black man and they're doing this because he's a black man. And I was disturbed by that talk because, you know, there were 60 women that came out.
Yep.
And they were not all white women, you guys.
Beverly Johnson.
There was some, exactly. Beverly Johnson did not get, she wasn't assaulted, but she allegedly said that she knew that she felt like he drugged her.
Yes, there
at
was
his house.
There was a habitual pattern that he did that absolutely rang true through all 60 women.
The thing is, in the black community, we don't always have to look at race as the reason why something is happening. And I know that there are a lot of sensitive people out there, and you want to believe that this is not true. But out of 60 women, somebody not lying.
Yeah.
Okay? That's, I mean, but the thing is, take the character away from the man. He's been very critical, Bill Cosby, of the black community.